everybody, Yogi here. I'm doing well, and I hope you are doing well. You know, I've been thinking about going down to show y'all where it all began. And I haven't been down to Milwaukee, Wisconsin in quite a while. So I thought today would be a good day to kind of retrace my steps to where, you know, kind of show you where I grew up, places that I've lived. I was born, it's called St. Michael's Hospital. It's on Villard, like 51st and Villard or something like that, I think. I'm not going to that location. It's not in a great neighborhood anymore. And a couple of the houses where I first lived after my birth are also not in great neighborhoods anymore. It's now called the inner city of Milwaukee. So we're gonna pick up where we moved to the south side of Milwaukee, and that was when I was about six or so. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. A little stroll down memory lane. So, if you would like to join me on this episode, I would greatly appreciate it. You could see kind of what Yogi has where Yogi's lived. So that's the first place that I can recall living in after we moved from the north side of town. That is 4710 West Howard. We lived on the upper part of that duplex there. This was probably about, mid-70s. For a couple of years we lived here. I do remember there was like a big area in back that had like dirt bike track and stuff like that, and we used to hang out there. And yeah, that's the first place, man, when I was from coming over from the north side to the south side. 4710 West Howard. Looks a lot, we're talking, what, 40 years ago? 45 years ago? I don't even know. I don't remember a whole lot. I do remember my brother telling me that we had to come in the house or something. We were in the backyard area, and he was telling me to come in or something like that, and I flipped him off. I gave him the middle finger. So I'm like, what, 6 years old probably at this time. And yeah, he chased me and caught me and beat the crap out of me. So yeah, that was fun. Brotherly love. Love you, Russ. So I would walk this way to school from 47th and Howard. And there used to be a bowling alley here. It's called Lucky Lanes now. I don't remember what it used to be called. The tavern on the end across the street on the right used to be called Marty's, because my dad used to practically live there. There used to be an old ShopRite. There was a Anchor Inn, it was called for the longest time. It was a restaurant on the left corner across the street here. There was also, it was called something else after Anchor Inn. It was Banquet Hall, and lasted for quite a while, and then all of a sudden that ended. Now, my mom remembers me coming down this hill here. We went on a field trip on the left side. I was walking down this hill. We went on a field trip around Halloween, and we got to pick out a pumpkin. Well, I picked out a damn big pumpkin and had a hard time carrying it home from school. Again, I'm like 6 or 7, 8 years old. But yeah, my mom remembers meeting me and seeing me struggling with this big old pumpkin. I'd take a couple steps with it, put it down, take a couple steps with it, put it down. Now on the left here is Whitman. It used to be called Walt Whitman. I guess it's just Whitman now. That is where I went to grade school. We had a contest one year. This is one thing I do remember. We had a contest one year to draw our dads for a Father's Day contest. I remember me and a couple other kids were making fun of this one kid about his dad, the way he was drawing his dad. There's the school right there. And all of a sudden, the teacher caught us. She told us to all stand up and show our pictures, and the whole class laughed at our pictures. But in the end, I had the last laugh. I ended up winning that contest, and my prize for winning that contest was a birthday party at Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor in Southridge Mall, which Farrell's Ice Cream Parlor, I think there's only a couple left, maybe in California. So that's been long gone from here. And again, you know, my family was so dysfunctional, I never got to go there for my birthday and redeem that card. Next up, 4201 West Morgan. Those were 4-family apartment buildings, and we lived upstairs, I believe, on this end, on the top, upper floors, right across the street from here. Let's turn this over. Alverno College. Alverno College. My wife went there. She graduated from Alverno College. Spent, I don't know, a couple years here. I have a couple memories. Now, this used to be more of a bigger field. That building right here wasn't there. I'm going to turn in real quick. This building straight ahead, this wasn't here. This was all nothing. There was a house on the corner. Ray was one of the kids who lived there. He had a brother. I can't remember his name offhand. We used to hang out. We used to play like football back here in this field, and we played baseball. And one time, I don't know if it was my brother or somebody that was older than us, but we were playing baseball, and he came up to bat, and he hit one with that stained glasses. There's actually stained glass. Wow, that tree is huge now. There's actually stained glass behind that big pine tree there. And he hit the ball, and it went through the stained glass window, which probably did not make them too happy. They were probably a little ticked off at us about it. They never came after us. They never charged us to, you know, repay for the stained glass window. But, you know, I do remember that. This housing complex up here now, as I turn, so this building right up here, straight ahead, that is where Ray's house used to be. And where this parking lot is for this building that we're driving by right now, they used to have their own little baseball field set up there. They actually had a baseball field set up. They made it, and we used to play baseball up there. And it was fun. It was fun. But I ended up going to middle school right here. I went to John Audubon Middle School. And you know what? This place doesn't look any different than it did when I went here. Again, Alverno College is straight ahead. But right here is John Audubon High School to your right. And it says Unity on that fence. Unity! I'm Rick James. Okay, so yeah, that's where I went to junior high. That is Audubon. I gotta backtrack because when I went to Walt Whitman, we lived on 47th and Howard. When I lived on 42nd Morgan, the place I just showed you last, I went to a different elementary school. So I was on my second elementary school, and we will head by there. I am on 16th and Wind Lake. Actually, 18th and Wind Lake. And here used to be what is called Suicide Hill. This is where we used to go sledding as kids. I guess you still can go sledding, but they built a really cool looking basketball court down there now. That never used to be there. You got a nice little playground area. But yeah, I remember getting out of the bottom of this hill once, and I went all the way down, and I was kind of had my back turned, and there were these like 4 people on one of those big long wooden toboggans. They came up on me so quick, I didn't even know they were coming. And all of a sudden, next thing I knew, I was butt over tea kettle in the air. I had been hit at the bottom of Suicide Hill. This is Pulaski Park, by the way. Yeah, that bridge over there too. That bridge there, that's new. I don't know how new it is, but it's been built over the last 35 years or so. They got another court over here. Well, actually, it's like soccer. Well, that's good. It's good that they've developed this area. But yeah, spent many a winter night sledding on the Suicide Hill. So I'm on 16th and Wind Lake, and there used to be a bar on the corner on the right here, the yellow building, called Three's Company. This is not the greatest of neighborhoods right now. You know, I'm driving through it during the day. I wasn't sure if I wouldn't even come down here. We lived, let's see, is it still standing? It is. There's a reason I say that. Coming up here, right here, 2364 with the red stairs. I used to live there as well. A couple years, we ended up moving because somebody set our garage on fire. We were renting the house. Somebody lived in the basement, and we woke up one night to an orange glow in the house, and my mom got up, looked, and said, "Oh my God, the garage is on fire." So after that, we figured, hey, yeah, I think it's time to move. So we did. There's a really cool mansion-ish looking house here, right here. I always thought that place was haunted. That place used to scare the daylights. I never liked walking by it. That's Mount Olivet Cemetery. I remember my brother and his friend were walking through that late one night, and my brother turned around and heard somebody saying, "Hey, help me." His friend fell into an open grave. Yep, good times. So I went to Whitman from, I don't know, probably kindergarten to 2nd grade. Then, when we moved to 41st and Morgan, I ended up going to school here. Jeremiah Curtin. And now it's called Jeremiah Curtin Leadership Academy. So yeah, that's where I finished going to grade school through grade 6. I got my grade 6 at Jeremiah Curtin. So there we go. We'll turn back around, let you see it a little bit better, and move along. Now, we are coming up to what used to be known as Southgate and Point Loomis malls, both of which are gone. They've been gone for a long, long time. On your right here, where this Ross Dress for Less, I think it is, right here, that used to be the Point Loomis Theater, and this was Point Loomis Mall on your right. It was an indoor mall. It's no longer there. And then there used to be a Kohl's food store. Mark's Big Boy used to be here where Zeb's is. Zeb's has been here a very, very long time. Very long time. I am now on 27th and Morgan. And this is where I did most of my growing up in this area. And to be honest, some things look the same. A lot of things don't. The Omega restaurant, that used to be a Captain Steak joint. Captain's has been gone for a very long time. Omega's been there 20 years, 30 years maybe. I don't know. Some of these places look the same, but on the right side here, and we're going to turn up here by this light. Yeah, like a Taco Bell. That never used to be there. That used to be... Wait a minute. Whoa! Ned's Pizza's gone. Oh no, it's up here. Ned's. Okay, I was off by a block. See, it's been so long since I've been here. Now, this, where Walmart is here, this is where Southgate Mall used to be. And this theater back here, Marcus, this has been here quite a while, probably about 25 years, maybe even longer. But there used to be a theater in back of Southgate, and it had like a balcony. It was the Southgate Theater. And here, where Walmart is where Southgate Mall, part of Southgate Mall, used to be. And Southgate was an indoor mall, small, not a big mall by any means, but man, I had so many good times there. We used to come to the parking lot and ski. You know, when it was snowing out, we'd hook on the bumpers and bumper ski. We just walked the mall, and you know, we had something to do. We'd always have fun, got together and just hung out in the malls. You know, did typical girl looking at girls and all that kind of stuff. This building is still here. There used to be a ShopRite food store here. I think it was Tate's at one point. And a bank used to be here. And over here where Famous Footwear is, it was Peaches Records and Tapes. And then it was Mainstream for the longest time. And then Mainstream ended up moving over by Point Loomis Mall, which that is no longer there either. Omega, that used to be Captain Steak Joint. Now where Office Max is, or Office Depot there, that used to be the Kohl's food store, because Kohl's had that they had a shape of their own for food stores. And behind that is where the old Point Loomis Mall used to be. And Point Loomis it was nowhere near as interesting as Southgate, but they did have an arcade there called Flippers way back in the day, and I spent many a night hanging out at the arcade. Flippers. There was a Radio Shack in there, but for the most part, it was always like half full, maybe. I do remember a golf course type place being in the basement. It was like glow-in-the-dark golf at one point. I think they had a JCPenney at Point Loomis. I know they were doing 7 Mile Fair there for a little while, which is this big flea market. Our next stop, South Lawn Apartments. So, coming up here, 3362. Right here on the end, 3362, not the very end, but where this patio is. We never had a patio. Those were built after we lived there, but this is where I did most of my growing up. Right in that window up on top there, that was my room. Probably from about 1981 or 2 till about 1993. Other than my current life with my beautiful wife and beautiful boys, that is where I had the best time of my life. There used to be some bushes here on this end that are gone, and across the alley there, right over in this area here, we made a BMX bike course in back here. had some fun. Had some fun times with the BMX bikes. There's the back. There used to be a tree right there. That's gone. Yeah, that's 3362. That's where I did most of my growing up. So here on 26th and Ohio down to Oklahoma, on both sides of this street, is where I had my paper route. Yes, Yogi delivered papers. Now, this big honking building here is Casimir Pulaski High School. And this is where I went to high school until I dropped out. I went here from like 1982 to, I think it was 1985 or 1986, I'm not sure. It took me 30 years and 3 attempts to get my diploma. But I got it finally in 2019. Al Simmons Field. Let me tell you a little story about Al Simmons Field. So back in the early 80s when the Brewers were really, you know, they went to the World Series and lost to the St. Louis Cardinals in 1982. But for a couple years, they would come here to Al Simmons Field around that time, and they would put on clinics. And since I lived, you know, a couple blocks away, I'm like, man, I might as well come down here. You know, they didn't, I don't remember if they announced what Brewers were going to be here or not before the clinics. So one year I brought my glove down here. Turns out it was Paul Molitor, who was in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Robin Yount, who's in the Baseball Hall of Fame, Cecil Cooper, not sure if Coop's in the Hall of Fame or not. Those 3 were here because I ended up getting all 3 of their autographs on my glove. Now, instead of protecting that glove and saving that glove, I kept using that glove. I still have the glove, but the signatures are gone. I suppose I could get like a big magnifying glass and kind of look to see if they might still be some kind of little bit of autographs left. But man, I had Cecil Cooper, Robin Yount, and Paul Molitor's signatures. Word to the wise, if you're a kid and you get an autographed signature of not 1 but 2 Hall of Famers, put that glove away. Get another glove. This is Ohio Playground. Oh, I'm sorry, Holt. Holt Playground. This used to be where we would hang out when I was younger. We would play baseball here on this baseball diamond. We would drink. We would, you know, secure some alcoholic beverages and we would drink. But we had lots of fun times here at the Holt Playground. Now, after living on 22nd Street between Morgan and Oklahoma, I ended up moving out on my own. Well, not moving out on my own, but moving on my own, so to speak. I moved out with a friend of mine that I was working with at the time. His name was Mike. And I ended up living up here, up in the upper half of this building right here, 3157, the upstairs area. But it was cheap. It was only $300 a month to live there. And that's where I kind of spent the 90s. Early 90s to, boy, I'd have to say like 92 maybe. 91 or 92 to 95? 94? I lived there for a couple years. It was kind of cool. So until next episode, folks, I am Yogi. I appreciate every single one of you out there, and thank you for watching this video. And until the next episode, folks, I am out of here.